What are the two steps that a person or a client or a lawyer should undertake in preparing for an arbitration or for a civil suit? My name is Ramana Reddy and I am a practicing lawyer. Today I want to talk to you about a common problem. In fact, this is a guaranteed problem that anybody who's trying to prepare for an arbitration or a civil suit will face, which is that there's a dispute between two parties, but this dispute has come about because they have been disagreements over the course of months or maybe even the course of years, and now you're trying to put all these documents and all these facts together, and you're trying to understand what argument you have to make. Now, it can be overwhelming to deal with so many facts and so many circumstances. So what do we do? How do we go about arranging everything in a way, in a way that it is more manageable? So that is the discussion that we're going to have today. Now, I think this whole chaos is best illustrated by a story that was, or by an example that was popularized by a 20th century philosopher. Her name was Ayn Rand. So the example that she gave was, let us say that there are two hunters that walk into a forest, and there are some crows that are sitting on a tree. One hunter, both of them go into hiding. One hunter comes out, the other one continues to be in hiding. Now the crows can easily say, okay, there's only one hunter is out, the other one is still in hiding, so we should probably continue to hide. Now the situation would be a lot different if instead of two hunters, if 20 hunters went in and 15 hunters came out and 5 of them continued to hide. It would be very difficult for the crows to know whether all of them are still there or all of them are still gone, because the crows are not able to hold so much information in their in their minds. So and that poses a problem for them. It becomes overwhelming when you have 20 hunters in the forest. Now, for human beings, luckily we are endowed with concepts and the conceptual faculty. If we are able to understand quantity, for example, in a way that the crows are not. So if a person is sitting on the tree instead of the crow, he would probably count, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 of them are out, 20 of them are in. It doesn't matter what color of dress they're wearing, it doesn't matter what guns they're carrying, what type of gun they're carrying. It doesn't matter because he can just count. But even for a human being, when they are trying to deal with with disputes, where they're trying to look at a civil dispute, specifically an arbitration or a civil suit, it can get pretty overwhelming because the number of facts, the number of emails, the number of documents that have been exchanged, the number of minutes of meetings that they've entered into, it can get very confusing. So in this situation, what can you do? What are the two steps that you can do to control this chaos and to make things manageable so that you can move forward in preparing for your case? So I think the first step that you can do, which I think universally every lawyer does this by default. If you don't, then you absolutely should, which is you must prepare a list of dates. Now, what does that mean? A list of dates is basically where you chronologically put together the series of events. So let's say, for example, that to take a simple example, let's say that I was supposed to supply to you 100 chairs, and you were supposed to pay me, say, 1,000 rupees, and you don't pay me that much money, and now I am the lawyer representing me, so I am for the claimant. I'm the one asking for the 1,000 rupees. And if the client came to me, so what I would do, the first thing I would do is I would ask for all the documents, and I would chronologically write down, okay, so on the 1st of January they entered into a contract. On the 5th of January the first shipment of 10 chairs went out. On the 10th of January the second shipment went out. On the 15th of January the first payment was received. On the 16th of January the third shipment went out. On the 20th of March the second payment was received, and so on and so forth. And if there are emails, you will say on this particular date the email was received. So basically what that does is, when you have all those details in one sheet, you get a bird's eye view into the whole dispute, because you have all the facts chronologically as they happened in one sheet. And that, I'm telling you, is extremely helpful when you sit down to draft, or when you sit down to think about what argument that you want to make in court. So the first step is always to create a list of dates. Before you do anything else, get the documents together and prepare the list of dates. Now the second step is to arrange all the documents that you have in line with the list of dates. Arrange them in seriatim, date wise, so that when you flip through the documents, you will get a whole story that you will be able to run through from day one till today as to what happened. So step one is to prepare the list of dates. Step two is to arrange the documents. Now, a brief caveat here: you are not trying to build up an entire case. You are not trying to make legal arguments. You're not trying to do research at this point. At this point, you're just trying to organize the facts. And so I think these are the two steps that that you would have to take. So to summarize, the first step is to prepare a list of dates where you will go from day 1 to day 100, for example. What in seriatim, date wise, what is the date of the contract, when was the first shipment, when was the first payment, the date of the second shipment, the date of the second payment, an email, or some correspondence that happened, but date wise. So that way, end to end, you will have a bird's eye view, as it happened, on one sheet of paper, which is extremely helpful. The second step is to arrange all the documents date wise, so that when you flip through the documents, you will be able to read it like a story, and you will be able to see, okay, this is what happened, this is what did not happen. So keep those two things in mind when you're trying to prepare for a civil suit or for an arbitration. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching.